way back in April, I believe, maybe even May. Released by Big Ant Studios. It was a huge hype train about it. Every single AFL fan, under the age of maybe 25, was pretty excited about it. It was the... Alright, but you're not a gamer.
Oh,
You're not a gamer like me, Jack.
Yeah,
I'm such a gamer, bro.
No, I knew this was going to be a shit game.
But
I saw the graphics before it even came out. I was like, yeah.
That's not what we're going to talk about, because, that's what everyone's been blasting about. But one of the big selling points to this AFL game was AFL 23's answer to FIFA's Ultimate Team. Now, if you don't know what Ultimate Team is, it's basically where you spend a bunch of in-game currency, you buy player cards, and you can get essentially a dream team.
Yeah.
But obviously, the better player in the better card or the better player will be more expensive than a crapper card. Now, this is one of the big selling points. It was called Pro Teams, and it was announced with the release of AFL 23. But it wasn't going to be releasing with it. But they did broadcast it in the trailer that it's coming.
Yeah.
Spoiler, it has not been released, and the game got released in April. Pro Teams 8, this is supposed to be the way the game survives longevity as well, monetarily.
Yeah.
Because, you're supposed to be buying in-game currency, which, if you don't play games, basically it means, you use your real money, you put it into the game, and then you can buy things in game.
Yeah.
So I know, but some people may not.
Yeah.
So this is the way it was supposed to be, keeping longevity. Now, I've been looking through the AFL 23, looking to see if they've made any sort of announcement or any sort of news about it, and the only thing I could find was a tweet made in June of 2023. So, 6 months. 7 or 8 months, 6 months ago, I think so. 16th of June, they said AFL 23 Pro Team announcement. For Pro Teams on Steam, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 is currently in the testing phase. It will be released when it is complete. We will advise an exact date when that becomes clear. What are you doing? Where is it?
Well, it says it's in the testing
How can
station.
you can't announce that something in your release trailer that it's something this is a big selling point for people as well. I thought that this is going to be something that I was going to actually enjoy. This is going to be one of the big selling points for the game. It's this Pro Teams aspect. And they've made no communication about this releasing into the game. And it's fucking December.
Yeah.
Well, they haven't even said, it's been delayed for this reason. Now, I get that this game isn't big at all outside of Australia. And to be honest, I haven't heard many people talking about it at all here in Australia since the game's got released. And if you saw any sort of footage at the start of this game, not only were the graphics pretty bad, but the game couldn't run properly.
Yeah.
Now, I haven't played it since, but because I was waiting for this AFL Pro Teams to come out to see how it was. But if they can't even run the game without internet connection or whatever, because obviously you will need an internet connection to play against someone else in this Pro Teams. Maybe that must be the big issue. But don't announce something like a Pro Teams aspect to the game where it is a selling point. Because I know there are a lot of people out there who would have thought that the Pro Teams was coming with the release of the game. And it hasn't, and there's been no news about it for 6 months.
Yeah. Yeah, and to say it's in the test, it's being tested, it seems like it was never going to be released within 3 months of it being released.
Yeah, well, this is in June. It was It was released at least in May. I think it was in April, but it may have been in May. But that's a month and a half after the release, at least. And they didn't even have it ready. They said it's in the testing phase.
Yeah.
So why are you announcing it in the trailer for the release that it's coming when it's December now? They won't be releasing it at least until March, because I don't see them releasing it before the AFL season begins.
Yeah.
Because there'll be a lot more people wanting to play the game when the AFL season releases. But even so, and this is another thing as well, the AFL game is called AFL 23, which, I mean, it would suggest to some people that it would be like a yearly thing. Now, I didn't think that when it was coming out. But, I mean, if you think about FIFA, every single FIFA's FIFA 22, 3, I mean, EAFC 24, or whatever. And you think about, the 2K games, they're always NBA, 2K 23 and all that sort of stuff as well. Why would you name this AFL 23 if your main update for the game, which, I mean, this is probably what a lot of people were waiting for, isn't even releasing a big, announcement, which a big selling point in 2023.
Yeah.
Don't announce it. Say, if they had to say something, put a trailer out saying Pro Teams is coming. Just do what GTA 6 did with their trailer and say, the game's not coming out now, but they're saying in 2025.
Yeah.
And they could have made a Pro Teams trailer and just said, in development.
Yeah.
That would have been fine. But don't put it in your release trailer and then be bewildered when people are like, where the fuck is it?
Yeah. And you got to think, like, they paid a lot of money for it. Like, what, they'll pay... how much did you pay for it when it came out? $90 or something?
Don't get me started on that. It cost $100 on the PlayStation Store to get this game.
Yeah.
And one of the big selling points for a lot of people, including me, was this Pro Teams aspect. And I've played the game once.
Yeah.
One day. And look, that's on me as well. I obviously could have played the game more. But when you have a game in such a poor state when it first released, and it didn't get fixed for at least a month, and even then, I don't know if it's perfectly fixed now. But I understand why they probably haven't released it. And it's probably because the player numbers have completely died.
Yeah.
Which would make a lot of sense because they've done nothing with it. They haven't even announced if they're going to be making an update for 2024 because of all the team updates.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's going to be the case. I would assume it is because they usually do that. But I think in the last AFL game, I think they did it as a paid DLC.
Of course they did.
Yeah, so I don't think I'm going to be doing that unless they want to release his Pro Teams. I think if it's going to be released anytime, I think what they're going to do is they're going to release it towards March of next year.
Yeah, that's what I'd do if it was...
If it's them now.
Yeah.
But surely they can't leave it for 6 straight months and not make any sort of point about, it's coming, or, some big announcement saying, it's in development. They've made one tweet
Yeah.
about it.